Tanner, it looks like the defense is really causing a lot of chaos for you guys. Can you talk about just how much they've amped it up this summer?
Yeah, no, defense has been doing a great job of just giving us different looks, disguising different things. And it's only going to make us better as well, to make us think on the fly. We're trying to do the same things. We're trying to scheme for them. We're trying to make them think on the fly with motions and stuff. They're trying to hold their disguises and do the different things as well. So I think they're doing a great job and really pushing us. Today was red zone, so everything happens faster in the red zone. So even more so, it's important to kind of know your rules and be able to think on the fly and think in split seconds. I think overall it was a decent day. Definitely a lot of things that we can clean up.
Tanner, this is sort of a new experience, I guess, for you being, getting second team reps. How has that been different for you, and what have you approached this camp any differently?
Yeah, I try not to approach it necessarily any differently, just because I feel like I've had my routine and my process of still, coming in, going through the script, going through the plays, preparing like I'm a starter. But it is nice getting the extra reps, being able to throw with more of the guys and more live situations, more team reps, more 7-on-7 reps, whatever that is. So that's a little bit different, and that's great. Honestly, it's very beneficial. I've kind of tried to have the happy two mediums of being on the side of not getting very many reps at all, and then having to work, extra before practice and after practice. But then now I'm getting more reps during practice. I'm hoping to keep that same routine just to be able to be, on top of things and know the offense inside and out.
What are your impressions of Kevin Patullo's, I guess, some of the adjustments he's making to the scheme now that you've had some time in it?
Yeah, no, very knowledgeable of the offense. I think he does a great job of making everything look the same. We're always talking about like, hey, we have this motion and this formation, and we have these two plays off of it. Let's branch off and have these other plays that, look the same, but look to the same to the defense, but it'll be a different play or give a different presentation to them. So I think he does a really good job of marrying everything together, and just, trying to keep everybody on the same page.
You had the end zone pass to Elijah Cooks there towards the end. What have you noticed about him? It seems like you guys have hooked up quite a bit in camp, and he's made like a bunch of nice catches.
Yeah, no, it's nice when a guy his size knows how to use his body and has great hands. And so I think Elijah's having a great camp so far. Really excited to throw with him in the preseason and see what he can do in a game, and make great connections, because I think he's a really good athlete, really good receiver.
Scott Ledford.
Sorry?
What's it like working with Scott Ledford?
Yeah, Scott's great. Very honed in on the details, which as a quarterback you want from a quarterback coach. Feel like the offensive coordinator kind of installs the plays and gets everybody on the same page, and then you have your quarterback coach saying, hey, make sure your shoulders are like this, make sure your shoulders are level, make sure your footwork's doing this. And so I think it is a great balance of having everybody in the quarterback room, and Scott just adds an extra element of detail for us.
Experience. He's coached a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
How much does that depth come out? How does he apply that to you?
Yeah, no, I think it's great. He always talks about, he worked at Michigan with Tom Brady and with different guys. And so he brings that up. He has different clips of guys doing different things. So obviously very knowledgeable, been around the game for a long time. And so we can obviously just take that knowledge and apply it to what we do.
Layer like on the coaching staff. Kevin comes up from passing game coordinator. Now you have Parks in that role. What's his layer sort of with the quarterback?
Yeah, no, Parks is great. Parks is kind of like he kind of does everything. There's a lot of times we'll do split field and KP will be with the ones, and I'll have Parks over here. So he is like another offensive coordinator that also knows the details of the quarterback coach. And so it's great to just have him in there. The element that he brings, a lot of his plays, he's either thought of, drawn up, whatever it is. And so he'll be like, hey, back when he was, in Miami or whatever it was, these are the details that we had on this play. So let's try this, this, and this. So it's just another great mind in there to think of offensive plays, how we can marry things together and move the ball down the field.
Number two, has to change your relationship, communication, interaction with him.
How does that change? I feel like each year that I am in the NFL, I feel like I learn more and I know more. So I feel like we kind of have a better relationship of more him trusting me that like I can be his eyes off the field, and what did you see there and what do you think there, and because I've always been asking him questions of, what are you seeing and what are you thinking? But I think as I get a little bit older, it's more of a conversation back and forth of kind of what we're both seeing. Just because we've both been in the offense for, he's been a lot longer than I have, but this is my third year being comfortable with the offense and being in the NFL and kind of seeing those different looks. So I think it's going well.
As far as the offseason, how did you view the whole quarterback situation? Did you view Kenny's trade as an endorsement of you? Were you, I guess, hoping to be traded to somewhere where you had the starting opportunity? What was your approach there?
No, I was very excited with what happened. Obviously, I love Philadelphia. I love being here. Want to be here as long as I can. So, was obviously very excited when Howie called me and told me the news. And obviously just know that they have a lot of trust in me to go out and do my thing and perform. And if something does happen to Jay, I'll go out and, move the ball and move the offense like how it's supposed to be run. And so that was great, just having that confidence from, the top down. Yeah.
You were pretty close with Kenny Pickett, Marcus Mariota over the last few years.
Yeah.
How have they prepared you for this?
Yeah, no, I mean, both guys have played a lot of ball. Both guys, I think, are just great dudes off the field as well, just how to coach a guy off the field, especially my first year, I feel like Marcus really taught me how to be a professional, how to, approach things, how to go in early, how to prepare, how to read defense, how to change mic points and just different things like that. I feel like I had a lot of development through there. And then obviously Kenny, just, the competitive aspect and kind of what he brought as well. I think both those guys are obviously great competitors, and I wouldn't be the player that I am without those guys. So it's been great.
So the two quarterbacks behind you, McCord and Thompson Robinson, how do you approach your role as kind of a sounding board and a resource for them then?
Yeah, so I'm trying to be to them kind of what Marcus and Kenny were to me. Just trying to be a role model, but obviously help them. It's a little bit easier with Dorian because he's been in the league as long as I have. But just with Kyle, like helping him be a pro, helping him, these are the things. In college, you had so many other things you had to worry about with school and whatever it is. But, when you're in the NFL, football is kind of everything that's on your plate. So there are some extra things as far as recovery and film and different things that are required. So just trying to help him establish good habits, and we have great guys that do that here, but just be an example for that.
You cross paths with Dorian, same draft class, West Coast.
Yeah, so we were in the Elite 11 together. So I've known Dorian way back since high school, and then we've seen each other, when he played at UCLA and different things. So yeah, I've definitely known Dorian for a super long time, which has been fun.
How do you balance, you were just saying you want to be in Philadelphia forever, but how do you balance that with you want to start?
Yeah, I think it comes down to controlling what I can control and being able to take advantage when opportunities arise. Right now I'm focused on this season. I'm focused on, what's ahead of me right now, being the 2 and being prepared to go in and play like a starter if anything happens to Jay. So that's my role right now. That's what I'm focused on. And then if anything happens in the future, I'll take advantage of opportunities.
What did the Dallas and Giants game do for you last year, confidence-wise?
Yeah, it was great. It was huge. Just being able to apply things in practice, in walkthroughs, into like an actual game. Just being out there with the ones was great. Just having the confidence in those guys to go make plays. And so for me to get those live reps, it was very beneficial. It was great.
Do you think that had to do with their decision? Do you think it would have happened without showing it in those 2 games? They would have made that decision to say, hey, Tanner's ready to be number 2.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that definitely played a big role. So I'm happy that things were able to work out the way they did, and I felt prepared and ready to play when my number was called. And so that's going to be my job as well this year. Whenever my number is called and wherever my opportunity arises, that I'll be ready to go out and play. Cool. Appreciate you guys.
How do you feel like these first few days gone for you, especially?
Yeah, it's eye-opening for sure. Just getting to experience what it's like to play against NFL caliber guys, and to go against the best offense in the league. I mean, offensive line. I'm definitely learning a lot through my mistakes and failures. I'm making sure to ask questions with those guys, and then just the tempo with the guys in the group as well. I mean, it's been awesome to go out there and work. These past few days with those guys.
Forum said yesterday it's a romance league what advice can you give? So what advice have you taken from Morrow?
Morrow's really helped me understand just, kind of like what you said, it's that grown man league, like don't go out there just because you're new and kind of ease your way into it. Just go, balls to the wall. As hard, doesn't matter if you mess up, we can correct that, but as long as the effort's there, you can be coachable, which is something I like to pride myself on. Then, as long as I get better each and every day, then I count that as a win.
You mentioned those eye-opening moments. Anything particular that stands out that you said, whoa?
Yeah, I mean, I play mostly on the right side, so getting hit by Landon and Jordan, those are some strong guys, right? And I'm used to not really having be engaged, but I mean, usually I can get my way off a block, and those guys are holding on pretty well. So you're having to learn how to be even more detailed and tactical on how to get off a block and how to be more violent and using that leverage to my advantage.
Do you find yourself maybe thinking more than just reacting at this point?
I think right now, obviously, the way I kind of view the game, I'm really trying to understand how NFL offenses work. I'm asking Coach Hurt all the time, just what kind of looks that this could mean. Just kind of some cheats and tricks I can use out there. So right now, I'm just definitely trying to, evaluate what I'm seeing from the front, and then what type of blocks I'm getting. Just taking that mental note and making sure I'm ready for the next one. Yes, sir. I mean, I think it's been, last 2 years I haven't had to play it as much. So it's definitely kind of, a call back to my earlier years in college. But, I'm just, like I said, just trying to get better each and every day, kind of just laying that foundation. So when the time comes, I'm ready to go.
Did you knock down a pass?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your?
Yeah, box drill. What's your impression of the box drill?
The box drill, you don't realize how tiring it is till you actually get to the box drill. By the third one, you're pretty gassed, but that's kind of the whole point, is to, get past your mental limit when your body thinks it can't take anymore, but your mind says it can, type of deal. Like when we were in OTAs, Coach Hurt, he made me go, they call it passes for each direction, each movement. So he made me do 12 in a row on the very last one. I mean, I was down. That's how we ended practice. I was down for the count for about 5 or 10 minutes. But just kind of, show, the mental and the physical toughness to the guys in the room, that I'm not willing to go out there and just quit on them just because my body's tired, and that I can also push through that type of adversity.
Is it something you've done in the past a lot, or is it?
I mean, yeah, it's similar to like something like like when you do mat drills or something like that, kind of similar drills. But Coach Fangio, I mean, he's right though. Like just the way the awkward movements and the kind of change of direction that you have to go through. I mean, it puts your body to get ready for days like this or for mini camp as well.
Do you sense that you have a real opportunity, or starting to feel like you have a real opportunity that's once the season starts?
I'm just taking it day by day right now. Whatever Coach Hurt's given me, I'm going to take every advantage I can of those opportunities. Win or lose, like I'm going to learn from what I can to make sure that I can just be available in whatever role they need me to be.
Why'd you go to the gloves?
What'd you say?
Why'd you go to the gloves?
I've always gone to gloves when the pads came on. For the first few days when there's no pads, I don't really see a point in wearing gloves. Kind of get the wrist used to being locked up a little bit, kind of grow that callus on there. Thanks, guys.
How you doing, man?
How do you think your camp is going so far?
Feel like I'm going great. I still got a lot of development to do, but I'm taking everything day by day. Just staying the course.
How's Cooper Gene helping you transition?
Oh, he's a great teammate, man. He's young just like me, so I can get a lot of knowledge from him. He comes in, works hard every day, and it just motivates me to keep going.
What are you learning about the slot that maybe, because I know you didn't play a whole lot inside school. You feel like it's coming quickly? Is it natural to you?
Yes, I definitely feel like it's natural to me. I can play wherever, inside or outside. I'm whatever the team needs. I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna step up and take that role.
Can you take us through that play you made on Johnny Wilson yesterday in the end zone?
Yeah, really one of our base calls. Make sure I stayed outside leverage. I knew since 3 was to me, so he was gonna do anything inverted or something outbreaking. So I just made sure I stayed low hip and just made sure I played through the hands.
What are your first impressions of Big Ski? Because a lot of communication involved. How's it differ from college?
I'll say it's a lot of similarities from when I was at UCF. We played a lot of man coverage. So I'm very aware of the scheme that he's progressed to me, and I'm all for it. I love everything he's doing about it.
What do you like about the dime snaps you're getting?
A little bit is I get to play a little. I get to play in my gaps. I get to fit the run a little bit. Also, just playing out there with my teammates, man. That's the main thing about it. I just love being out there and competing with the guys around me.
We've seen you have some snaps against larger receivers. When you're entering you're looking at Johnny Wilson, who's 6'6", what's the mindset going into a rep like that?
A guy like him, I got to make sure you get hands on first. Try to slow him down. Bigger guys, they like to push off and things like that. But just making sure I get hands on, collecting the route, and just staying low hip.
What's the biggest thing he's taught you so far? The things you learned from Coop. What's the biggest thing?
Like I was saying, he definitely get hands on. He get hands on quick, making sure he control the route. So we definitely get it after practice and things like that. Just making sure we doing our clamp technique and things like that. Just making sure I get hands on, because if I feel like I get hands on, I can control any receiver.
The run fits when it comes to playing inside. How difficult is that versus just playing outside?
It's not difficult to me. It's really just about understanding the gaps and just playing off the guys around me. They might go out of gap or might go in the right gap. I just make sure I follow behind them and make sure I'm in the correct gap to make the right play. Thank y'all.
Stout, good to see you all.
How do you take the best offensive line and make it better?
There's always a way to make yourself better. There's always room for improvement. And the best part is I coach players that know that. So I hope I answered your question, but there's details to everything that maybe we missed on some things last year. Yeah.
What do you see with, I'm sorry, you continue?
I'm done.
Do they know that because you have instilled in them that they know they
I don't know that. You got to ask them that.
Okay.
But I do say that all the time.
What have you seen out of Tyler this year versus last in the first?
Well, he played a lot of football last year. You got to realize he played like 450 something plays. So I think that helps a player develop confidence, and he's acting that way right now. But there's definitely things we've identified some things to work on. Today was a big day for Tyler Steven, in my opinion. He did some things that I've been talking to him about, and he executed them, and he did a good job.
Can you give us?
No.
Okay.
How about Matt Pryor? You were with Matt from the start of his career back in 2018, I think it was.
Yeah.
How has he evolved, I guess, through the years?
Well, Matt was a young man when he was here. He was young in the league. He's much more mature right now. Actually, my wife, who's right behind you, Allison, these players stayed in touch with her, even though they left here, because of Mama Stout. Literally call her on like he is much more mature, understands coming through the door, me, how I coach, the techniques I coach. So he was advanced in the process of learning the playbook and the techniques.
What led you to get Trevor Keegan more time at center, and what do you see in that? Where do you kind of see him?
Well, we always try to have 4 centers hanging around, and you like 3 of them to be active in the game, whether they play another position. And Landon was always that guy, and then so we're trying to find someone else, and he's doing a really good job of it. I'm impressed with his advanced knowledge. He must have been paying attention and not just listening to the guard play, but yeah.
I'm sorry if you've been asked this before, but Jason Kelsey has been around practice. I saw him out there today with the guys. He's talking to a few of the guys, Cam Durgans, of course. How helpful has he been, just being there as a resource for the line?
Absolutely, very valuable. He's always welcome here. He's a part of us. He's a part of our family. So when he has time, I always tell him, get over here, help us, help these young players out. They get tired of hearing me sometimes. So when they hear, like Landon does that for me, and Lane will do that for me, and Jordan will do that for me, where they'll say, Stout, hold on, in the meeting, and then they'll start to talk, and all of a sudden the players are like. So it's good to break it up a little bit and hear it from the guys that are actually doing it. But Jason, he knows me, he knows what we're teaching, he knows what works best. So to have him to have a guy like that around and be able to talk to him, Drew Kendall, come on, having a Jason Kelsey Hall of Famer around here to tap his brain. I told him, I said, if you let that guy get out of here and you haven't asked him a dozen questions, you're crazy.
What's the plan for Ken Young? Is he going to stay strictly at the left side, or
for a little bit right now until he's, guys get banged up and stuff, and then they lose some reps, and so we're trying to get more and more reps for him and soak him at that position and get him comfortable. We have some things that, and he knows, we try to go like each group. We try to, you need to work on your balance and body control. Your hands are lacking, and then that's why I said that. So, so we try to target each day or each week what we need to do to help a player so they can achieve that in that practice. We call it a one-up.
Where are Miles Hinton and Cameron Williams in their development from your perspective?
Hold on. Miles
and Cameron Williams.
Miles Hinton. Let's talk about Miles Hinton. All right, so Miles is really talented. I call them critical factors. He's got lots of them. The technique now that we're teaching and why we're teaching it that's the thing that he has to break through and master, and is to push through that wall. And once he like when Jordan got it all down, it's like all of a sudden the light comes on and everything starts clicking. He's not there yet. He's in the process. Cameron Williams, again, like Miles, when you find tackles that are very athletic and smooth, they can slide their feet in protection, they're long, they're very valuable in this league. They're hard to find them. So developing those two players for me is very exciting because they can become anybody they want. They really can.
Would you say the same about Holland Pierce, perhaps, too? A big guy, just long player.
That's obviously unusual, right? So we like unusual. There's got to be something about you that is unusual. Otherwise, if I close my eyes and they say, what's unusual, and I can't come up with anything, the process becomes easier in terms of who we should keep.
Vic Fangio was telling us today before practice that it is not hot, it's just a mindset. And it seems like every time we talk to Sirianni, more so than ever, he's talking about instilling the toughness of this football team. How have maybe you seen that in the building?
Yeah, it's just go about your business. Who cares what the deal is? There's nothing you can do to control that. Go out and perform at a high level. And that actually, when it's like this, go even a little harder. And what this will do is pay you back. Because you'll be in the season, we'll have 16 play drives. And it'll pay off.
How would you describe now what Cam Jurgens went through to get through the end of that postseason and how he handled the offseason and how you're handling it?
Well, he was in the offseason, he was recovering. So now we're on our way back. I'm sorry, you were asking a question?
I apologize if you hate talking about yourself, but this is year 13 for you here at the Eagles. I mean, you've been here as long as Lane. And
Allison, come here. Come over here. What's that? Yeah.
How often do you think about...
You might want to answer some of these questions. Okay, what?
How often do you think about how the public and the fan base views you as one of the legendary members of this coaching staff in this organization?
Honestly, I get a little embarrassed by it. I'm not... That's nice, and I'm honored, and I'm privileged, and I feel unbelievably good. But at the end of the day, I really believe this. If you focus on what you're doing and the task at hand, and you really lock in and you're just blindfolded as to we have to get these things done, and you just go about that and you don't get distracted by anything, usually good things happen. And for me, I've been coaching for 43 years. Allison has been with me for 33 of them. We've had to move around a lot. We've had a lot of great players. I think the relationships that we've had, both of us, with the players is probably the most fun. Just to watch these guys grow from young men to mature, developed, and then watching them, great things happen to them is my most rewarding thing.
All right, what kind of headaches have the defensive line given the offensive line?
Well, they're good, so they give you headaches.
Jomo and Hunt?
They're good. They're good. They're quick, they're fast, they're big, and they're strong. So that creates headaches. So, but we have good players too. So actually, the battles that we have here, I think, makes it a lot easier for when you play other teams.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
I'm blessed to just be able to come out here Coach moved practice up an hour early, so made it a little easier on us. But it is a mindset. Also got to take care of your physical for sure. Make sure you rehydrate and eat what you need to eat, and just make sure the body's where it needs to be.
Speaking of mindset, what's your mindset year 2, and what are you hoping to accomplish in this game?
Yeah, just continue to grow. I've been very blessed with the position I'm in to be able to learn from have Coach Singleton coaching me up, and just all the vets. So just continue to grow and ultimately be ready whenever my opportunity comes. Be able to prove that I can do it at any position and at any place, whether it's special teams, offense, third downs, whatever they ask, just be able to fill that role.
Hey, Will, Saquon said that you're the smartest running back there, and he said actually pisses him off how smart you are.
Oh, did he?
He did. Has he kind of communicated that to you? How do you feel like that plays into how you are as a running back, your knowledge?
Yeah, I learn a lot from him. There's no doubt about it. We iron sharpens iron in that room, watching film, and we have a lot of, we didn't say heated conversations, but just where we both have our points of views, and we're trying to learn from one another. So like I said, it's been just great to have him kind of taking me under his wing.
Where do you think you are right now?
I don't really think about that. I really just focus on what I can do personally to get better. My main goal right now is to improve every day and do whatever I can to make the team. And that's my goal every day I come in, is just improve and do whatever I can.
What do you learn from Dallas and Brandon?
Yeah, obviously they're extremely talented players, so I'm just picking their minds, watching them, what they're doing on the field. They've been here in this offense for a long time, so they know all the details really well, so I'm just trying to pick their brains, and obviously they're extremely great guys, so they're open to help anyone in the tight end room, and I'm really thankful for that.
Is that kind of how you approach this training camp, when you have to make a team?
Yeah, every year I've been in the league, that's my goal, is to come in, improve every day, and do whatever I can to make the team. And as long as I'll be in this league, that'll be my goal every training camp.
What are you really impressed with how this group can work together?
Yeah, I think this is one of the. I've been blessed to be a part of some extremely talented tight end rooms. Last year with Bowers, with Njoku's years before. So being in this room and seeing how talented it is, it's a lot of fun. I think everyone has different skill sets too, but everyone is very well rounded. So it's cool to see that too. Like everyone can block, everyone can run routes, everyone can catch the ball. So it's really fun to be a part of that and just continue to grow my game from learning from them.
Specifically, what do you bring though to the tight end?
I think I'm a complete player. I think I can block. I think I can run routes. So that's something I pride myself on, is just being complete, and whatever I'm asked to do, I think I can do that. So that's what I'm trying to improve on as well.
You were curious with this heat if the coaching staff, Sirianni, was going to make any adjustments to practice. It didn't look like they did that. What is the message in the meeting rooms about the toughness of this football team?
Yeah, every team meeting he says we'll know what we're expected of, and the biggest thing is toughness and getting in shape, and being in this heat and this weather and in full pads. That's what we're doing, is competing and getting in shape. So that's what we did today as well, I think.
So far, do you like this offense and the way you utilize times and just generally you feel for it?
Yeah, you've seen in the past years how successful tight ends have been in this offense. Obviously, it takes a good offense, but also talented tight ends, and Goddard's been here for a long time and doing well. So, I think they do a great job using the tight end. So I'm excited to, fit in wherever I do and just continue to improve and help the team in any way possible.